Hey there, I'm Dave, and here to talk about Dave's Picks Volume 15. I'm going to preface it by saying I think I found a place that doesn't have any wind, but the tide is coming in, and so it's kind of wavy. So we should have, started these as lakeside chats, because if we had, there'd probably be less wind and waves. I could find some quiet lakes, but we ended up calling it Seaside Chats. So we're stuck with this. And I feel the wind coming in. I'm trying though. Okay, here to talk about Dave's Picks Volume 15. I can't believe we're at 15. You know, I think I mentioned this the last time or time before that when we were doing one of these videos, that when the series started, before number 1, I kind of roughly mapped it out, and I haven't in any way stuck with that. But it was nice to have a little bit of a guideline that, ended up getting thrown out anyway. And what we have, obviously you've probably heard of this by the time you're watching this video, is April 22nd, 1978 in Nashville, Tennessee. This show has been close to release twice, probably more than twice, but I can tell you 2 times that we thought about doing this. A few years ago, 2 years ago, when we did the May of 1977 box set, you might remember, we actually originally considered doing April 21st, 22nd, and 24th. The final shows of the first leg of the spring tour of 1978. We ended up going with May 77. We're very happy we did. And then the other time this one almost came close to being released is when we released the next show, April 24th, 78, in Normal, Illinois. We almost released this one instead. So it's come really close to being released, and when that happens, it kind of indicates it's a pretty good show. And this is a really great show, actually. A lot of highlights. Tell you what's going on. The Dead, 77 ends. They start out the year with the West Coast tour of California and Eugene ending on January 22nd. Then they did a very short 6-show tour of the Midwest, 3 in Chicago, and then Madison, Wisconsin, and Milwaukee, and Cedar Falls, Iowa. Dick's Picks 18. And then they took a couple of months off. Jerry did a lot of shows in February too. February and March, Jerry did a lot of shows with the Garcia Band. And then April 6th of 78, the Dead came back. They did a 3-week tour, April 6th to April 24th. Then they took about a week and a half off. And then May 5th, they came back May 5th to May 17th in Chicago. And, oh yeah, that's right, they played Chicago a couple times. January, February, and then this May run. And then June, they did those 2 shows in Santa Barbara and Eugene, and then a little bit of July, including those great Red Rock shows. August, very little, the end of the month, Red Rocks, and then Egypt and Giant Stadium in September, etc., etc. 78 was one of those years that was really up and down, and when they were really up, they were really up. They were as hot as they ever were. Some of my favorite playing, kind of like 1970, where when they were on in 1970, which the way they were, don't get me wrong, most nights, think of Harper College, 213 and 214, 515, 11-8, 1970 I'm talking. Some of the best Dead ever, also some of the sloppiest was kind of through the year. 78's a very similar year, where 1977, for example, is consistently really good. So they do the first leg of the tour, and they wrap it up with these 2 shows in Nashville on April 22nd and Normal, Illinois. You probably got the Dave's Picks from Normal, Illinois. This one from Nashville is every bit as good. Obviously totally different, completely different cellist. A couple of the songs in the first set, a lot of standouts in the first set, and a few that I really love. The Birth of Good Lovin', they nail it from the beginning. Sound is great, of course. Betty Cantor Jackson recorded this, Jeffrey Norman mastered it. Good job Betty and good job Jeffrey for both of them. They did incredible work. And Birth of Good Lovin' to open up, and then there's a great Candyman, a terrific Jack Straw, and one of my favorites, a lot of people I think are surprised at how much I like this one, but I love Minglewood, and this is a great Minglewood, and then just a phenomenal version of Deal, where they just really keep going on the repeated chorus. Dick's Picks 25, you might remember Dick's Picks 25, those 2 shows, May 10th and 11th, from 2 weeks later after this one, in Springfield and New Haven. Very similar deal, where they just keep going on. They're having a good time, is what I'm saying. Now the second set, as is typical of these shows from this era, is really where it is. They open up with a very rare second set opener, Lazy Lightning Supplication, which is traditionally, at this time, a first set song or first set combination. Lazy Lightning Supplication. The other big highlight before drums, 2 exceptional versions, Estimated Prophet, Eyes of the World. Both of them are the kind of things that if I was DJing a dance party, I'd put either of those on, or both, make it a 25-minute jam session. Drums, remember Rhythm Devils started on this tour. By Rhythm Devils I mean going from the 3 to 5 minute drum duet from 1976-77 to going to the 50. I think this one's about 14 or 15 minutes long. Some of them on the tour were 20 minutes long. When everybody in the band could come up, Jerry, Bobby, Phil, everybody came up and would bang around on things, even the road crew. It was just an incredible time for the Dead on the percussion side of things, kind of the inclusive Rhythm Devils. And to me, and this is rare for 78, I often find in 78 the post-drum sequence of the show it's a little autopilot, maybe a little lagging at times. This one is not. Two highlights in particular. An absolutely spectacular version of Not Fade Away. They played that again a couple nights later in Normal, Illinois, the Dave Spick show from 424. This one is much better. And then one of my favorite versions ever of Wharf Rat. I've been asked, you know, when people ask me, hey, I'm looking for a good Wharf Rat to just listen to, what do you recommend? This is the Wharf Rat I give them. So I'm going to leave it there. I will say, even though we've upped the Dave's picks from I think 14,000 last year to 16,005 this year, the first two this year, the 1974 show and the 72 show, have both sold out really quickly, certainly within, I'm thinking a week maybe or something, because remember a lot of people subscribe too, and those are counted inclusively in the 16,500. Point is, if you want this show, a truly exceptional show from 1978, sounding as good as it should, which is to say it's a proper, great quality Betty board. Get it sooner than later, because if you decide, oh, maybe I'll just wait a couple weeks, it will not be available then. And it's a good one. It's a great one. I don't want to see it missed out. We're just beginning to work. What are we now? Mid-July. We're just beginning to finalize ideas for Dave's Pick 16. We've got some great ideas coming up for that. And oh, a little final bit of news: the 30 Trips box set. The 80 CD box is almost sold out, so also if you're on the fence about that, I'm just gonna, this isn't a plug, this is kind of a warning as your Deadhead friend, get it because it will sell out. So Dave's Picks 15, April 22nd, 1978, Nashville, Tennessee. Exceptionally good show. I love it. Put it on anytime. So thanks for joining me. Hope the noise wasn't too bad. If it was, I apologize. But can't do anything. Bye.